What's going on, everyone? The Arid Lord is back for another reaction as I move my mic for episode 5 of The Ones Who Live, entitled Become. This is finishing the sentence from the previous episode, where episode 4 was What We, and then this is Become. So we have two sentences, Years Gone By, and What We Become. And I don't know what the title for the finale, episode 6, is. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but man, I'm kind of nervous for this one. We'll get to that at the end of the video, like what's to come. However, this episode went in a different direction than I thought, in a good way. There are major spoilers in this. I'm going to be talking about the ending and certain, character deaths and stuff of that nature. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, just obviously skip parts of this video. But yeah, so this resumes from the end of episode 4. Rick and Michonne are heading back to Alexandria, and so it's kind of, I don't know where they are is the thing. Like like it looks like they're at like Yosemite National Park or some shit. Like I thought, I mean, maybe they had gone somewhere else. Like when their helicopter, when they jumped out, when Michonne pulled Rick out of the copter, that maybe was not near the central base in Philly. Maybe they had been somewhere else, and then they were on their way back to Alexandria. So I don't know. But I mean, they're in this giant ass mountainous location. And it's pretty darn cool to just see. I mean, because we don't get sweeping shots like that very often in The Walking Dead, right? We get more of the forest, and there are a lot of shots of people trudging through the forest. I mean, there's the ones of Rick and Michonne. There's obviously multiple ones of Jadis in this. So it's just cool. Like, I know the budget for each episode was pretty big, because if you guys remember, these were supposed to be 3 movies. I don't know if it was gonna cover the same plot that these 6 episodes are, but originally it was going to be 3 movies, and then a combination of COVID and other things turned it into this mini series. So it's just cool to see those shots, because again, we just don't get that kind of stuff in The Walking Dead. I mean, Fear the Walking Dead season 2 was on the water with Strand's boat. You had all the nuclear stuff later into Fear the Walking Dead, but again, like, The Walking Dead is known for tighter, more constricted spaces. I remember that being a complaint people had with the Commonwealth. And looking back, I do kind of have the same issue where you never got the size of the Commonwealth. Like, there's a video that Lance shows of everyone, a day in the life of the Commonwealth, like a promotional video. And the place looks like 300 times bigger than what the actual Commonwealth that's filmed in the show. There's only like 3 locations, like the town square and a few other locations, and for the most part, you just don't really get much of an understanding of the true size and scope. So it's cool to see that type of landscape. So yeah, it's Rick and Michonne. And Scott Gimple says this in the behind the scenes, where this does feel like an homage to, I think it's episode 12 of season 7. I don't know what it was called. I think it was Say Yes was the name of the episode. The episode is most infamous for the CGI deer, if you guys remember. People roasted the fuck, and I think actually The Walking Dead started making, like, their account started making fun of the fact that the CGI deer was god awful for a show that has such great special effects, and Greg Nicotero does such great with the zombies. For that to pop up, it's kind of like, what in the absolute fuck? So yeah, it's this kind of cutesy montage. They're finding food in random locations, and they're camping in random locations, and they're just having conversations. Like, there's one conversation where Rick is telling Michonne about Thorn. So they're just kind of going through a whole bunch of stuff. And then they come across like this random group. It's still bizarre to me, like this many years into the apocalypse, that there are still like rogue groups of people. Like, wouldn't you think all these people would be dead or with civilization? Like, like the Commonwealth or the CRM. Like, I would think that these mega civilizations that have fortified themselves, and or like the group of survivors we know, and Alexandria is, now that it's under the Commonwealth's banner and all the resources they share now. But like the fact that there's still random survivors out there is just so bizarre to me, because you got these people who are these are characters like the Vatos that like Rick could have encountered in the early days of The Walking Dead. But keep in mind, we're years into the apocalypse, not to mention the 6 years that Rick was stuck at the CRM, and we're post that timeline now, and you still get people who are just, and like I'm like thinking to myself, like, how. And I think this was a statement by Gimple or somebody, like anyone who's still alive in the apocalypse at this point is dangerous, like they've known how to survive. So, these people get easily out, overtaken, they try to lie. And so, I knew it was going to come back. Like, once Rick, like, he takes the bullets out of the gun and, like, tosses them in different directions, I knew it was going to come back to bite them. I'm like, oh, of course. These people seem super, super scared and, concerned about their well-being. And, obviously they're going to betray them. So, and that comes to roost eventually. But not until a certain Jadis catches up with Rick and Michonne, and I figured there was a promotional clip of a like a road rage like car chase scene that was in the trailer with Jadis. So I figured that this was gonna happen at some point. Like Jadis versus Michonne and Rick was going to happen at some point. She's the one who saved Rick, but she's also now a huge obstacle to everything that they're trying to do now. So it seemed like, for me, I'm not, and spoilers, this is the spoiler, but this is her last episode. She dies. And I'm not surprised. Like, I thought it was gonna be, for me, I figured she would die at some point in this 6 episode stretch, whether it was the finale or this episode. I figured that her death would be in here somewhere, and it was. I just didn't think that, like, however this ends, I didn't think that, Rick and Michonne have many obstacles, and she is one of them. And I figured that she was, and she's been a long-standing character. I mean, her character was introduced in 2017 in season 7. And then she was in 7, 8, part of 9, left. And then she was, if you guys have watched World Beyond, she was in season 2 of World Beyond. And she's a lot more ruthless in that. Like, she's very, like, military dictatorship, somewhat kind of, like, unfeeling. They almost made her one-dimensional because I feel like there were no other, like, Walking Dead characters to kind of ground who she was there. Because in this episode, for all intents and purposes, this is very much a Jadis episode. Like, this is the most Jadis episode of any Walking Dead or episode in this new series. This is the most Jadis-centric episode we've ever had. And that's even taking The Lost and the Plunderers, the episode where Simon shoots and guns down all of the trash people, all of her original people. That, like, she was, a lot of spotlight was on her in that episode, but I feel like more spotlight is on her in this episode. And here's another, so the first big, there's 2 big spoilers in this episode. The first big spoiler is that Jadis dies. The second is a character from the original Walking Dead who returns, and I could not believe, like, I was, like, shocked when this character came back. Because I remember the build-up, because people were saying, there's a strong rumor that another Walking Dead character makes an appearance in this series. A whole bunch of people thought it was Morgan. People were like, Morgan's gonna find Rick. Morgan. Because I didn't watch the final season of Fear the Walking Dead, but I know that Morgan, like where Morgan's character ends up, he's like he leaves that fear group and he goes off with his child, Grace, to go and find Rick. Like he's like, he like talks into the walkie, and he's gonna either go back to Alexandria or just find Rick wherever he is. So, and that's like how his character exited the show, and then Fear the Walking Dead is over. So like that's hypothetically, unless there's some other series that's coming, that's the last we're gonna ever see of Morgan's character. And so a lot of people were like, well, it's, Rick and Morgan have to reunite one more time. That's the story started with them, but it's not. It's actually Father freaking Gabriel is in this episode. I just, it's so cool. Like Seth Gilliam coming back. Like I think of all the characters who would want to keep their story going. Seth Gilliam, who plays him, I actually met him at Walker Stalker Boston back when Walker Stalker did those conventions in a shit ton of cities. This is before a whole bunch of stuff unraveled with the guy who ran it, and there's a deeper story on that in another video. But yeah, I met the actor, and it's cool. So I thought when they showed the opening scene with Gabriel that he was going to come into the story. I'm like, oh my god, because I said this in a comment, and I also mentioned it briefly in one of my past reviews, because I spelled it out more in a YouTube comment to somebody on another video. I said, if Negan, Father Gabriel, and Michonne and Daryl all got in a room and tried to, throw darts at a board as to where they think Rick went and what happened to him, I'm sure they can surmise that, Jadis left Alexandria around the same time that the bridge explosion happened with Rick. And so I just think that, and then Gabriel overhearing Anne on the radio in that one episode, the fact that she was talking, like Gabriel knew she was in contact with another group. And then Negan saw the helicopter when she was originally going to trade him in that episode in season 8. But then they have the scuffle and the helicopter flies off. And then Negan asks about it, and she just doesn't say anything. And then he just slips it from his mind and focuses on the conflict against Rick. And then he never brings it up. Like, I feel like if Gabriel and Negan talked, it's like, yeah, I saw a helicopter here. Oh, Jadis was talking about a group, but and then, Jadis went missing. Do you think a helicopter had anything to do with taking Rick? I feel like they could have connected the dots a little bit of the characters that are still in the original Walking Dead who knew of the CRM connections in Jadis. They could have figured it out. And so I always was like, yeah, that kind of just got left off. Gabriel just didn't know, what happened to Jadis. She just left. And this is, additional Walking Dead content because Gabriel, unbeknownst to us, Gabriel has been having these secret meetings with Anne/Jadis, Anne's her real name, all throughout the original Walking Dead, seasons 9, 10, 11. Because there's a subtle reference to the Whisperers where Gabriel asks, a lot of people in the community are going hungry, the children are going hungry. He basically asks Anne he's asking if the CRM could step in and help with the situation with the Whisperers. Now, they absolutely could, because if their helicopters showed up and just mowed, just fucking shot missiles into the trees where, fucking Alpha and her, basically it's like, yeah, okay, Alpha has her super mega horde, but yeah, I mean, air superiority, it's like, how is Alpha's sawed-off shotgun gonna freaking aim at that? Air superiority, you're done. Beta, Alpha, I don't care how large your horde is. A couple of well-timed rockets and machine gun fire, and, it's over. So, it was cool that, that connection was made, and, references to the old show. Because, again, this is a greater universe. It's what Marvel is doing, what Star Wars is doing. We want, we as fans, and I as a writer, I know this, and it's something I always keep in mind when I write my books. Satisfying the viewer on the connected universe from one thread to the other, it's important. It helps people stay connected to the universe. It helps them stay with the content. It's rewarding. It really is. So the fact that like these things are mentioned, and the next time, because there's a bunch of time jumps in this. It's like 1 year, like it says 3 years later, 2 years later. Like it's like it shows you all these different meetings that Jadis and Gabriel were having. And the next meeting after that, Gabriel has a bunch of supplies, and Jadis is like, oh, like I wasn't sure you were going to be here. The last time it didn't seem like things were good. But now this is after or during the Commonwealth, so now we know that they have a bunch of supplies from the Commonwealth, and they've since dealt with the Whisperers and the Reapers at that point, and now they're in the hands of the Commonwealth, and we presume this is after Pamela Milton's been arrested, and Mercer / Ezekiel assume control of the Commonwealth, and we have that happy ending for the end of The Walking Dead. So we know Gabriel is well off. But the conversations, it's cool because they got at her character development. And again, after season 2 of World Beyond, like we kind of got robot Jadis, where it's like, oh, she's a warrant officer of the CRM, and she believes fully in it. Like she knew full and well what happened to Omaha when they bombed 200,000 people. Like, go watch World Beyond if you haven't. Like, I mean, I almost feel bad for people who watch Walking Dead, watch The Ones Who Live, Jadis's character dies, and if you didn't watch World Beyond, she's only in the second season, there's only 2 seasons, but she is a big part of that second season. And although she doesn't go through a character transformation, like, it shows, like, how locked into the CRM mission that she is. So it's just, like, you get so much more with her, and I'm so glad, like, that was one of the reasons I did it, because I was like, well, I also thought, because it was the CRM, I wanted to see if there were references to Rick, like, General Beale's son is in World Beyond as well, and they show you more of where the A's go for the zombie experimentation, and because one of the girls, her dad, is involved with the experimentation, so it's good, like, it's kind of like the CRM focused show, which is good because, like, it gives you, depending, again, I don't know how long this is going to be, if there's going to be more seasons of The Ones Who Live. I don't know what comes after, but it's good that we had this additional content, and so I would suggest if you guys haven't seen that, it gives more context to Jadis's character. But yeah, man, she's conflicted very much throughout, and they show those scenes as Easter eggs because she is then conflicted as Rick and Michonne. Because it's a dance, right? Neither side trusts the other side. And we know, like, I knew to never trust Jadis's word. Fucking hell, like, she betrayed Rick back in season 7 when he tried to hire her group as mercenaries against the Saviors. Like, in that season 7 finale, I'm like, yeah, she betrayed him back then. And then she double-crossed him. Like, she is the ultimate cannot be trusted double crosser, the double crosser of double crosses. So at the end of the episode, like, and I knew Michonne was bullshitting. Michonne's like, Rick can go back, I can leave, you destroy your dossier, which talks about Alexandria. Like, they keep trying to facilitate some type of understanding, because she keeps saying, like, you can't kill me because they're gonna find it, like she keeps holding that over their heads, like, you can't kill me, you can't kill me, you can't kill me. Also, Michonne gets a wicked shot in on her, and she's bleeding out for most of this episode. I gotta look back at the fight scene, but I think she gets like an axe in like the chest or something, because she's like, just like, she's sickly pale, bleeding out. She runs into those group of asshole survivors that I mentioned and recruits them, and like a bunch of bitches, they fucking turn on. It's like, oh yeah, like Rick and Michonne spared them, and then they just like they're almost like the claimers. Like, it's just like, yeah, whatever benefits them, they'll just go along with it. Like, they'll sell their humanity down the road. And so I was so glad when the Walker attacks the girl and then kills the other ones. I was like, bravo, that is exactly what you deserve for being like Jadis and double fucking crossing. And I'm like, good, you all deserve to get fucking axed. I was so happy those survivors. Like, at first I was like, the girl had some humanity, like, oh, we shouldn't take their stuff, but then she fucking teams up with Jadis, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, you deserve everything that happened to you, getting eaten and killed. And I wasn't having any of that. So, so Jadis double crosses again, and then Michonne knew it. So Michonne, like, grabbed one of the CRM rifles and has it on Jadis. And so the walkers that intervene, like, it's not a cop-out because I rewatched the scene. Like, Michonne does shoot Jadis's arm, and that pushes her back into the walker. Like, she had another opportunity to, because the first time she shoots the walkers that are behind Jadis, because she knows, oh, if she dies, like, we're fucked. But the second time, she's like, all right, she just double crosses again. Fuck this woman. And then she got bit in the neck, and I was like, that's it. Like, I knew right then and there, I was like, she's dead. She's dead. But they did it like that because she basically almost has like her Darth Vader moment, I guess, like in her dying moments redeems herself. Because this ties back to the Gabriel conversations where she's talking about how she explains how she's so locked into the CRM's mission because she's seen, like, when Simon killed her trash people, and like she's seen loss and destruction happen over and over again. And she wants to be that happy, engaged person. Honestly, the person that we got from the first few episodes of season 9 that she was in, when she was in a relationship with Gabriel, that was like, oh, okay, like, Anne's kind of doing well for herself. Like, she's found this new way. And it's the same person when Morgan goes to the trash heaps at the end of season 8. He's like, Rick wants you to be a part of things. Like, Rick made an effort to reach out to that side of her to get her to open up and open her humanity up. And that's what she does. And she also reveals where the dossier is in her apartment for them to destroy it. However, see, this is annoying because Rick and Michonne they can just go back home now. Jadis is gone. They can destroy the dossier. The CRM thinks that they're dead because of the helicopter crash. They have a clear, open lane to go back home, and they don't. Because, and it was briefly mentioned in the first episode that Okafor talks about it, the echelon briefing. Apparently, there's basically the deepest, darkest secrets of the CRM are about to be revealed. Like, this is the stuff when we were first learning about this shadowy group, and even some of the experiments and stuff that they were doing in World Beyond. These are like the deeper things. Like, what are these fuckers really up to? And so Rick and Michonne are going back to the briefing to get the information. I don't know what their plan is. Like, to get the information from the echelon briefing. And see, again, I'm really hoping, because this is the finale. Okay. A few things I don't want to happen. Rick and Michonne better not fucking die. If that's the way this ends, I'm going to flip a table. I'm going to be bullshit, okay? That's first and foremost, all right? Second of all, they better not have Rick and Michonne, like, unleash a horde of walkers. Because, like, all of the most important CRM, General Beale is in the preview. Thorne is in the preview. All of the important CRM people are here. Like, because this would be a perfect opportunity to do, like, Terminus 2.0, where it's like, okay, they amass a ginormous horde of walkers that while the CRM's back is turned, they descend the horde and it takes them out. And, that's how they... Like, again, this is a large-ass military. I'm going to be bullshit if they have some, like, just, they just had, like, they were able to catch them with their pants down and that's the solution. Because what I'm thinking, like, the stuff that they're planning in the echelon briefing, like, that is going to be explored in whatever comes next. And it better be, because I don't want there to be just a resolution. Like, if they say, oh, the echelon briefing is we're going to nuke the world, or we're going to turn everyone into a zombie, like, whatever their ultimate endgame is, Avengers Endgame, Walking Dead Endgame, I don't want it to be thwarted because Rick kills General Beale, or he kills Thorne, or they just kill all the important people there. Like, I don't want that to be how like, and then we never get to see like a conflict on the Echelon stuff. Like I want something again, like I want more content, duh, but I just you know, I'm surprised because they've done a lot with these 5 episodes. They really have, and I just it would make me go berserk. I feel like I'm still gonna have. There's no way this episode, next episode, it has a monumental task. This is probably the most monumental task, more than the original Walking Dead finale, any other episode. The Negan returning from bashing the heads episode, season 7 premiere. Like, this episode has more weight and pressure than anything they've done in their almost 14-year run of this universe. And that's saying something. Because this is possibly the end of Rick, possibly the end of Michonne, possibly the end of their story, possibly the end of the biggest group. Like, the amount of, like, everything is riding this episode, this final episode 6, and I need them to stick the landing, or I'm gonna go ballistic. So yeah, they're bigging something up, like, because the you know, Rick like in the preview you see like Rick is seeing it, like, I don't know, and then just is Thorne gonna switch sides? Is she gonna stay loyal to the CR? Because now Thorne is like the new Jadis, right? She's got humanity inside of her, but now the CRM has given her power, so she's kind of like, we saw it in episode, what was it, 3? Like, she's kind of going a bit power crazy, because she has Okafor's job. She almost shoots Michonne. Like, now Thorne is the new Jadis, and Beale is already at the top. And again, we don't know much about Beale. That's the other thing. We don't know too much about General Beale. And if the CRM is going to go on to be a villain in some other series, he's got to be the guy kind of at the top. Like we don't. It's Thorne and Beale at this point. Like, Jadis is dead. Okafor is dead. Like, we don't know, other than some random civilians like Esteban, like, we don't know too many other CRM people, right? So anyway, I kind of, again, I always seem to go on divergence with these reviews because there's just so much to talk about, so much interconnected. But for this episode, like, it was so much of a Jadis focus episode, but it was also kind of like Rick and Michonne's honeymoon. He proposes to her with marriage. Like, there's the ring that Jadis had from Gabriel. Like, there were just some cool Easter eggs, everything tying together, and it was very nicely done. It was very, very nicely done. The sweeping shots of the mountains that we don't get to see often. I still don't know where the hell they are geographically, but it looked really beautiful and nice. So yeah, overall, I got a lot of enjoyment out of this episode. It was fantastic. I liked it a little bit more than 4, only because 4, they were just stuck in that fucking condo. And I understand they had to get through Rick's PTSD. They had to have, like, a couples therapy session, essentially. Like, I'm not mad how it played out. It just, it's kind of like, it was almost like watching a play in a theater. Because it's 2 characters almost in one location in that apartment building and just, getting everything out there. So this was cool. Like, it had action. Like, there was the freaking car chase. There were multiple legs to the fight scene. Michonne gets a wicked shot in Jadis with the axe that makes her bleed out for the rest of the episode. So it was great. I mean, again, I'm just loving. I was just getting back into this show, and now for next week to be possibly the end of all of this. If not, it's going to be a hiatus for a while. And even when the Negan and Maggie and Daryl series come back, like, I'm not going to have the same level of enthusiasm. I'll watch them, just so I can continue, writing out this universe. But, this was what I had been waiting for almost 6 years. For almost as long as Rick was a captive of the CRM, we've basically been waiting for this to return, which I don't know if that's on purpose, but I'm sure it would have come out sooner had COVID not happened, but, whatever. So yeah, I'll give this one a 9.5. I don't think I gave last week's episode a review, but score, but yeah, 9.5 for this one. Oh man. I'm doing, so the Walking Dead world, my friend Jeff, like, I'm gonna do a co-op video on the finale. So there will be a special kind of video that I'll do to tackle that. So There will be one, maybe two more videos for 6. And then I don't know about after that. I always told you guys, like, for the Walking Dead content, I was holding out for this. And it's going to depend how it ends. Again, that's the thing. Like, this final episode will be a huge determining factor in how I continue to review Walking Dead content. Because could I review, Dead City and Daryl Dixon for their season 2? Yeah, I guess. But, again, like, I'm trying to do different things creatively. I have my own writing that I'm trying to promote at some point, which that's my own CRM. That's my own, secret hidden project in the background that no one shall know about until the time is right. So, and the time being right will be my own echelon briefing. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys. So thanks for watching. Let me know. Maybe I'll make a prediction video midway through the week. Like, what are our predictions for this finale? Because I am... Oh, boy. I don't know, man. Like, part of me, like, the previews show them with so much confidence. Like, they're going in, like, kind of guns blazing. Like, they feel like they have the upper hand because of their strategy. There's no Jadis anymore. But it's Thorne, right? Like, you still have... Even with Jadis gone, you still have plenty of people who can get in their way and stop them. So we'll see what happens. Oh boy, it's gonna be a big one. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys. Also, well, I should say I'm gonna be traveling because it's fucking Easter when this finale comes out, and I'm actually gonna be traveling. So I'm gonna have my laptop with me to watch it. But in terms of being able to do a review, it's not going to come out until late Monday, early Tuesday, probably, which sucks because the internet's going to be exploding talking about this episode, and I'm going to have to wait. So it's whatever. So can't really do much about it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought about the episode and your predictions, and I will see you later for more content. Peace out.